It pays to know your doctor, it pays to know your lawyer, and more than ever, to know your local real estate professional. Hi, I'm Glenn Drake with Drake Realty with 7 offices in Metro Atlanta, including 2 right here in Cobb County. I'm the proud leader of over 700 agents here in Georgia. Drake Realty makes the home buying process seamless from contract to close. Our agents are a little different. They're not pushing for the quick sale and close. They're pushing for the best price and terms for their clients. In other words, Drake Realty fights for you. And right now, with the lowest interest rates that we've seen in 30 years, now's the time to buy that dream home, vacation home, upgrade, downsize, or new home your family deserves. A lot of real estate agents talk big. Let my team at Drake Realty prove they will fight for you. I'm Glenn Drake, and I'd be honored to have my team serve you. Visit us online at drakerealty.com. And remember, it's not how quick you sell or buy, it's how the deal sets up your future.
Cobb County Schools are giving parents and students a sneak peek at what the hybrid school day will look like. I'll have that story and more coming up on this Tuesday edition of the MDJ Podcast.
Engineer Solutions of Georgia.
Hey Atlanta, this is Jay and Lewis, owners of Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Lewis, what should a homeowner do if they have a crack in their block wall, corner of their door, window, or concrete foundation?
Well, Jay, if it's a diagonal crack, this lets us know that they should be concerned and there could be a serious problem. Then they should call our office at 678-ESOG now and set up an appointment to have one of our qualified professional technicians come out to their property to take a look at the problem.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've done the research already, so you don't have to. You can trust Engineered Solutions of Georgia.
Give Engineered Solutions of Georgia a call at 678-ESOG now.
Engineered Solutions of Georgia. We guarantee a stable, dry foundation.
Welcome to the MDJ Podcast, your hyper-local news on the run. I'm Amy Kargas. Darren Sutherland is on assignment. Thanks for joining me. It's September 22nd, 2020, National Voter Registration Day. You have until October 5th to register to vote in Cobb County for the November general election. Here are the top stories your friends and neighbors will be talking about. At the time of this recording, there have been 421 deaths from COVID-19 reported in Cobb County, with 19,041 confirmed cases. That's 11 deaths and 595 more cases in a week.
So Samara has a new puppy, and she wants to build a fence in her backyard. Samara's backyard has space for a rectangular fence that is 40 yards long and 20 yards wide. How many yards of fencing does Samara need to buy?
You just heard what a 4th grade math class might sound like when the elementary school kids head back to the classroom next month, thanks to a video released by the Cobb County School District on Friday. The video shows an example of how instruction could appear when students return to the classroom. Teachers will lead a class of both face-to-face and virtual students at the same time. The video described this classroom setting as shared synchronous instruction. Cobb County Schools begin Phase 1 of reopening on October 5th, with elementary school students and many special education students returning to the classroom if parents have chosen the in-person option. Teachers will be trained on how to lead face-to-face and remote students simultaneously so that everyone receives the same lesson at the same time. The district stated that the video shows just one example of how a classroom could look, since some schools may have more students in class than others. You can find more on the phased reopening and the full video online at cobbk12.org. The Cobb County Commission may have struggled with the language of an anti-racism resolution in June, but they're taking the first steps towards action in the spirit of that resolution this week. Here with that story is Marietta Daily Journal and MDJOnline reporter Alex Gilbert. Alex, what's the story?
On Tuesday, the Cobb Board of Commissioners are going to consider the creation of the Cobb County Council for Justice, Peace, and Reconciliation. That council will be tasked with, among other things, identifying and figuring out ways to combat what it calls systemic racism in the county.
What will be the makeup of the council? Who will be included?
The council is going to have 15 members. 5 are going to be directly appointed by the members of the county's governing board. Another 5 will represent organizations in the county, so there's going to be a spot for the Cobb NAACP, a spot for the Cobb Chamber, the Cobb County SCLC, the Cobb Bar, and Kennesaw State University. And then the final 5 members are going to be chosen by the first 10 members to have been appointed, so those appointed by the board and those who represent those organizations. Those members are going to have 2-year terms, with the exception of those appointed direct by the board, who are going to have 4-year terms.
What are some of the goals that they hope to accomplish?
According to county documents outlining its role, and I'm quoting here, that the council shall identify opportunities across a broad spectrum to assist in the education and mitigation of systemic, institutional, and structural racism. It'll do that by putting together events like conferences, workshops, and it will bring suggestions back to the board for approval. What exactly this council is going to be empowered to do is going to be fleshed out in a charter. According to the most recent copy of the county documents outlining Tuesday's agenda item, that charter will have to be brought back before the board for final approval in January 2021, should this pass tomorrow.
Thank you, Alex. Well, we look forward to hearing more about the work of this council as we move forward. A man waiting for a bus early Thursday morning was killed when a car on South Cobb Drive lost control on the wet pavement and hit the bus shelter. DeMarco Hill of Austell was approaching Leader Road on South Cobb Drive at 5:24 a.m. Thursday when his Tesla Model 3 hydroplaned, spinning onto the sidewalk before slamming into the bus shelter. He was taken to Wellstar Keystone Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A man standing inside the shelter was fatally injured. The Cobb County Police Department has not released the man's name pending notification of his family.
I don't mind if I don't find anything. I love
It almost seemed like 2019 as dozens of vendors set up tables and tents and parked their trailers and buses to show off their art, their crafts, and other pieces for sale at the Marietta Artisan Market on Saturday. The market took place in a parking lot just across Mill Street from the Marietta Square Farmers Market. The market featured colorful canvas paintings, bamboo artwork, fall seasonal decor, jewelry, and other unique creations. Vendors sold wallets, books, and, well, because it's 2020, handmade face masks. If you missed out on this week's market, don't worry. The Artisan Market will be back at the square next Saturday, September 26th. Coming up in today's guest spotlight, we'll hear from 2 Cobb County judges on the passing of U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg and the legacy she leaves behind. Stay with us.
You deserve better than your bank. Better service, better rates, better solutions. If you live or work in Cobb County, now is the perfect time to make the switch to the Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank. Since 1960, Credit Union of Georgia has been providing Northwest Georgia with financial solutions that make sense for your home, business, and family. As a homegrown, not-for-profit cooperative, our members are our mission. Not only will you get the best loan rates, you'll get personalized customer service from people who understand your needs. Plus, Credit Union of Georgia provides real convenience with a network of more than 30,000 accessible ATMs and branch locations across the country. Of course, there's also 5 locations right here in Cobb County. Ready to see how much better your banking can be with Credit Union of Georgia? Become a member today or apply for a loan online by visiting www.cuofga.org. Credit Union of Georgia, the better way to bank.
On Friday, United States Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg passed away at age 87 at her Washington home. Justice Ginsberg served 27 years on the nation's highest court. Marietta Daily Journal and MDJOnline reporter Ryan Kolakowski spoke to Cobb County judges and other elected officials about Justice Ginsberg's legacy and the impression she left on the country. Here's his interview with Cobb Superior Court Chief Judge Reuben Green.
In your view, what impression did Justice Ginsberg make on the country?
I think I would say it's a terrible loss for our country to have someone that served for so many years and had such a great impact on our court to no longer, to be with us and then to go in a time when, it's not really her choice to leave, but, her passing kind of forces the choice. And so I think overall it's a huge loss for our country.
And what impression do you think Justice Ginsberg made on the country?
I think she had a huge impact. So she, women's rights is probably the thing that she is most well known for, and advocating for women's rights and equal treatment for women. And I think that that impact is huge and will continue well beyond her many, many years of distinguished service.
And now here's Ryan's interview with Senior Superior Court Judge Adele Grubbs.
Well, of course, she's someone I greatly admire and respect for what all she did. I mean, the walls she had to get through to get where she got are amazing. And she was so serious and diligent in what she did. I was kind of expecting it would happen at some point, given the difficulties that she's had, and that she could keep going until she was 87 was absolutely astounding. So it's, she just blazed a trail. I know she's number 2 on the United States Supreme Court, but she still blazed a trail, and blazing trails is not easy.
In your view, what impression did Justice Ginsburg make on the country?
It's hard to put that in words. Apart from her legal knowledge and demeanor and so on, it is the brute force that makes a person go forward, that doesn't sink when things go wrong. She just kept going. She just kept going. And I think that is remarkable. And as far as she had got, it would have been so easy for her to just sit back on her laurels and say she was done, but she didn't. And she kept working for all of us. And for me, and maybe it's because I'm a judge or whatever my position is, but for me, that is the example to me is you just keep going.
You can find out what other Cobb leaders had to say about Justice Ginsburg's legacy by reading Ryan's article on the MDJOnline. Thank you for joining us for the Marietta Daily Journal podcast from your local news source, the Marietta Daily Journal and MDJOnline. Grab a copy of today's paper and visit MDJOnline for complete details on the stories we've discussed, plus more stories that affect you and the citizens of Cobb and surrounding areas. Subscribe and share this podcast to get all the latest hyperlocal updates, or ask Google Home to play the Marietta Daily Journal podcast for you. Share your thoughts or questions with us in the comments section, or call the MDJ Podcast comment line at 404-997-8655. We might share your comment on an upcoming episode. The MDJ Podcast is produced by BG Ad Group, Amy Kargas producer, Jacob Sutherland director. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved.
Thank you for listening to the Marietta Daily Journal podcast, brought to you by Carmichael Funeral Homes and Cremation Services in Smyrna and Marietta, celebrating memories you'll always cherish.